Okay, home. So there's my home page. There's about. Okay, there's specifications, history, contact, and home. Okay, it works fine. Now, what I want to do here is make a few adjustments to the menu for usability. The link of the page that you are actually on doesn't need to be active. Let me come back to home, and I'm going to copy and paste that menu in one more time. And I'm going to deactivate the link of the page I'm on. So when I'm on home, the menu doesn't need to have a home link. Okay, when I'm on about, I would highlight about, get rid of that. Okay, specifications. So you get the idea here. All I'm doing is going page to page, deactivating the link of the page that I'm on. So what that does, as far as talking about usability, if you're talking about a simple look to a page, it really doesn't matter if the site is simple or complex. It'd probably be the same thing. You want to keep your visitor comfortable so that they know where they are in the website and they can easily get back home so they can tell where they are. So the way that you can tell on this site, like if you're on the contact page, contact is deactivated on the link, the others are still active, and then there's a title right here, and then there'd be probably a form or email or something on there. Same thing with the history, and you can put, change the text around, put a different picture. So I'll do a file, save all, come back to my index page, preview that in browser. One more time. Got a lot of different versions open, which can be tricky sometimes. Okay, and now you can check that out. Very simple menu. Very effective though. Easy to navigate. So not much design to it. It's just a simple static. Going on down the page here, sort of one line at a time. We'll get to the more interesting looks when we start doing more with CSS. But for now, come back and kind of summarize what we've done so far in these last week and this week with this tutorial. This is going to be like your project, so that is taking a simple website and adding in links that function. So the links that we looked at today, outside link, so you just highlight and then you can do your URL down here and the target of blank. If you wanted to do a mail link, I'll go ahead and mention that right now. If you had your email down here, I really don't like these links very well because what happens is when a user clicks on it, it's going to open up a default mail program like Outlook or Mail or something, and it may not be the program that your visitor uses. Most people use web-based email now, so this is how you do it though. If you want to put in an email link, you just type in the word mail to and then colon and then the email address. You probably know that from HTML. So those are the links that we looked at, and then we looked at creating our own links using a file save as. Now you don't have to do the save as. If you want a totally different page, what you may do is create your own, a brand new one, do a file new. When you're doing a new one, make sure you select HTML5. So you would do a new page, do a file save your new page. Okay, and then you've got a page in here that when you go back here, let's say we'll just put new page, and you would highlight this, and then you could drag your target to the new page we just created. So that's an alternative way to do it. But the easiest way if you're going to create a usable website is to just generate your other pages based on your home page. So that's why we finished up the menu as best we could by putting in these links that didn't exist yet. So putting them to like contact.html, remember all lowercase, no spaces. Then we did the file save as. And the save as just basically saves a copy of it. Okay, each of those is opened up, and then we'd go individually and make changes. The first one, the about, that's where we kind of finalized our menu. So we said we want a home link on there. And then we want to copy and paste that menu from page to page. We want to change the headings to make it look different, take the picture out. Okay, then you can continue saving. Save as, and you create those other pages. So that's the main point of this tutorial, is to get you to create that fully functional website. The secondary point of this tutorial would be to get used to basic CSS formatting, continue with that. So what we did again at the beginning was we created a new rule, and then your rules are going to start to populate your CSS styles panel over here. So now you can see when you click on this, like there's info 2 we created. Here are the settings for info 2, or you can double click on it and then you'll get the CSS rule definition. Now look for another tutorial that is going to further explain CSS again from scratch, because it's so important. I want to make sure I put up plenty of tutorials on it. We're just creating these little rules right here. So what we're doing is we're doing new CSS rules. We're doing class. Now class can apply to any HTML element. So for example, if you want a little heading down here but not down here, the ID will be used more for design later on, and then the tag will be for a specific tag, like if you knew that all your paragraph tags need to be exactly the same. But class is good to start out with, and then as long as you're aware of what you're doing with it. What can happen sometimes is if you're dropping all these different classes in, if you go back to your code, your CSS will start to get kind of long, and that can be solved in two ways. Maybe you're putting in one of two ways, probably. Maybe you're putting in too many classes. Maybe you can reuse them. If you're not paying attention to what you're doing in Dreamweaver, or you're new to Dreamweaver, what can happen is every time that you decide you want to format something, you highlight it, you can actually generate a new CSS rule. It'll pop up and it'll have you name a rule. So that's one thing that can increase the size of your code and really make it pretty inefficient. But another way that you can fix that is to start dropping this code into an attached style sheet, which you'll learn about in another tutorial coming soon. It may already be up right now. I'm going to see if I can get that one up this week also. But you may want to also just keep an eye on your code as you're building your website. It's good practice to do that. So build your website, come back to the code, and also just so that you're kind of updated on HTML5. It looks like everything is being written in HTML5. As long as you remember to do a file new, when you create a new document, you change doc type to HTML5. So you wouldn't need to remember to do that. So lots of things going on in this tutorial. Even though it is a pretty simple website, again, the goal is to understand how to use Dreamweaver to create the basic HTML structure, including links and simple layout, and then also format with CSS. The CSS formatting we've done so far, changing colors for different elements on your page, background, links, text, changing fonts and sizes. That's about the extent of it so far. But actually what we've done will get you a long way, because what we'll be doing the whole semester is we're going to be going over to the CSS styles panel, and we're going to be generating these new CSS rules. And we'll be dropping down, we'll be using the IDs a lot more, but we're going to be doing this CSS rules, getting used to the CSS styles panel over here. So my goal is for you to use Dreamweaver in the correct way, so that you're generating clean, efficient code, and that your CSS is structured properly and up to date. So I want to make sure that that's what we do these first couple weeks. So that's it for this tutorial.